Let's go ahead and get the live feed pushed into everything. That's going to the website, mytsports.net. Whoa, server error. You should double check your internet connection. Why? You just don't like me right now. That's what that is. Okay. You pushing to the website? You pushing to the website? You pushing to the website yet? This thing is really getting annoying. I don't know what this... Ever since Mixlr has updated, now it's starting to have issues. And I don't like that. It's fucking with my live feed to my website. Which means that if you prove to be unreliable, then I may just go ahead and try out Podbean for a month or two and see how that works. I don't mind paying for the double subscription temporarily.
Juice.
What about the juice?
I got the juice.
You got the juice?
Mm-hmm.
I got the sauce.
How does that work? That's too wet.
Let's go ahead. Welcome to the Mixlr. Let's skip all this. Okay. Let's see if this thing is ready to cooperate now. Okay. You know we're gonna end up running that whole entire video back, right? Run the video back. Let them see that again. As I work through technical difficulties that I should have worked through before I started the podcast. But saying some things you don't know is a problem until you actually start the podcast, though. Let's see if we're back to normal now. Okay. Wait, are the levels good? Talk to me, man. This is really getting annoying. This is really getting annoying. Okay, still acting up. Reload devices. Can't even start this properly. I don't get what's going on here. Something went wrong with the server. And I can't trust Podbean to carry this show alone. I really can't. Back to events. Let's try this again. Yeah, the first 5 minutes, please correct errors. Oh, yeah. There are definitely errors in here. You're basically gonna get the first 5 minutes of the podcast of me, essentially you're watching the video, of me just trying to get shit in order. Okay, we are officially live. So let's see. The levels is good. The levels is good. The levels is good.
Okay. Big man, you wanna hear some hot takes? Let's see how good you are. You know something about podcasts? Hey, yo, dígame. You kidding me or what, man? I got these 3 drunk uncles with a sports podcast. They say they got fire takes, pure fuego. You find them wherever you listen to podcasts at. If it's what they say it is, you like and you subscribe. Listen, like, and subscribe, yeah. You know how to call into the show? Yeah, man, do the podbean app. You'll need headphones with a mic to call in. That's no problem, man. They'll also be at Sharky's, 8:07 p.m. on the first Wednesdays of the month. You may get some free Blue Chew. And they keep receipts or so. If anything happens in the sports world, MyT's gonna drop a take faster than a rabbit gets fucked. There's only 3 things I have in this world. My word, my balls, and this podcast. And I don't break them for nobody. MyT Sports Season 7.
Here we go. And fade to color. Good evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. Excuse me. I'm your host, the one and only Taylor. As you guys know, it's another Fuego day in the hottest city in the world. It is January 14th. We're talking about it. Oh, shit. What the fuck was that? It is officially one day before Martin Luther King Day, which you guys already know. If you're a big sports fan, if you're a big NBA fan, that means that we're gonna have a whole slew of games coming up for Martin Luther King Day Saturday. One of them, as you guys already probably know, is with my team. Yo, it's funny how they keep giving us this matchup on these days, right? We're going to get into that a little bit more on the podcast. It is January 14th. They said we was going to have highs of 73, lows of 53. Current temperature right now is just about 59 degrees, folks. We're gonna get into the lighter side of sports with the featuring the Golden Child. We're gonna get into our go hard or go home games of the week. Basically, that right? With our wild card weekend. We got our love to see a segment of the week. Obviously, somebody's out there streaking. We got our Knicks talk. We got an injury report. We got no birthdays today. We got a Blue Chew promo code for you and more. But you guys know what we say, regardless of the time. Oh, regardless of the time.
Take that.
And regardless of the weather. Come on, Coach.
You play to win the game. Hello?
It's always a good time to talk some sports. Let me see your motherfucking drink. Light up your joint. Let's pop this motherfucking poppy. Woo! Back at it like a sports fanatic. MyT Sports. Oh man, I missed you guys. Season 7, episode 50 for the season, folks. Excerpt 383 of the MyT Sports Podcast. We're going for 383 episodes. We're still going long and we're still going strong, folks. This ain't no 1 minute pod. We're gonna be here for a couple of hours. So I'm telling you, get yourself a Gatorade, get yourself a drink, do whatever you got to do to keep yourself entertained while watching the podcast, because there's gonna be some long stroking in the building today. How you doing? Folks, we're going to start off our podcast. As you know, listen, we got no birthday shout. That's a real ironic thing. We got no birthdays for yesterday. We got no birthdays for today. So we get it right into my favorite topic of the whole entire sports industry, folks. And that is that Knicks talk, You know I stay with that Knicks talk. Whether we lose, whether we win, I'm going to walk my walk because I stay with that Knicks talk. Some of y'all can't see what's going on here on camera. Folks, the New York Knicks currently have a record of 21-21. That currently puts them 5th in their division and 10th in the conference, in the final spot in the postseason tournament. Now, I'm going to tell you something, right? Which is still kind of weird if you're a Knicks fan. Because as you guys realize, 21-21, that's a real even number. But that's just still kind of odd. Because we're just one game above the halfway mark. Yeah, guys, it's 82 games in the NBA season. We've now played exactly 42 games. One game above the halfway mark. And one game into the second half of the new season, the New York Knicks have a 500 record. Into the second half of the season, I should say the new season. But the second half of the season, New York Knicks have a 500 record. And folks, in the background, you know we like to keep a game on in the background, right? So we have the Miami Heat playing the Atlanta Hawks. Now, granted, we had the Golden State Warrior and the Chicago Bulls playing, right? But we'll talk about that game on a lot of side of sports, right? We have Miami and we have Atlanta playing on the background, folks. And part of the reason why we're interested in this game is not only because we're down here in South Florida, right in the heartbeat of Miami. Viva la Miami! Let me hear your pots and pans. Hey, they like to eat you, Gucci, my friend. You guys know what I'm talking about. I got the juice. So the the Miami Heat are currently playing the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm paying attention to this game not only because we're down here locally in Miami, but also because the Knicks play Atlanta tomorrow. So for that Martin Luther King game that I was telling you guys about, the New York Knicks go ahead and play the Atlanta Hawks. Now, ironically, right, you see what the NBA scheduling people have done for the New York Knicks and even for the Atlanta Hawk market, right? The Atlanta Hawks in the first round of the playoffs last year, they played the New York Knicks. So, and that game, obviously, it had its own little buzz, it has a little excitement. It had New Yorkers riled up, to say the least, right? So riled up that, as you guys may know historically, right? If it's your first time listening to the podcast, then you probably haven't heard this yet before. If you are a regular on the podcast, then you know that after the first game of the season, that the New York Knicks crowd was so enthralled, so riled up, so enthused that they made sure that they went ahead and they expressed on how they felt about Trae Young.
Yo, we thought Trae Young was still good.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, we thought Trae Young was still good.
Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young!
and this is what happens when you decide to take a curtain call on Madison Square Garden. I understand what happened, that you was eliminating the Knicks from the playoffs in that point in time, but that's how the whole entire New York Knicks crowd feels about you. You know what I mean? And also,
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
I'm just saying, right? So, New York Knicks currently have a record of 21-21, and as you see, what the NBA matchmakers are doing. So far, you've seen now for the Christmas Day game, you see the New York Knicks playing. You see the New York Knicks play the Atlanta Hawks, right? Just to try to get back some of that spice and recreate some of that electricity that happened from the playoffs. And you see them doing it again for the Martin Luther King Day games. Obviously, these are two big games for the NBA. These are 2 days where the NBA basically has games from noon up until goddamn midnight. Ooh, work them hips. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and bend them knees and drop it to the floor, and more, and unzip my pants and take out. Sorry people, we got a little carried away over here. Got my sugars over here in the background. Ooh, got some icing on your pants.
Icing?
Is that me? I think that's me. I think that's 2 macaroni marks, some from my finger. Yeah, because you got one on each side.
When you was coming up the stairs, you fucking bitch.
Yeah,
It's podcast time.
that happened.
I mean, you lovely man. You're the sweetest man I ever known. You're the best boyfriend I ever had.
Yeah, I hear this, right? That's why I think your girlfriend's bipolar. Like, it's like dating a Sour Patch Kid. So the odd makers wanted to have this matchup for both the Christmas game and also the Martin Luther King games, because obviously people are gonna be home. They want New Yorkers to be able to watch this. They want to give people that are outside of New Yorkers, trying to give them intrigue to watch this game, because they're like, oh, this is a playoff matchup from last year. But to be honest with you, the only people that probably really care about this game is probably New Yorkers and Atlanta Hawks fans, just because the Atlanta Hawks aren't doing that well so far this season. Right, they are right now. If the season were to end today, the Atlanta Hawks would not be making the playoffs. They would not be in postseason play at all. The New York Knicks would be squeaking in with the 10th slot. The 10th slot they currently have with a record of 21-21. And just to let you guys know, the record of 21-21 is the same exact record that the New York Knicks had last year around the same time. 42 games into the season last year, the New York Knicks had the same exact record. But this is what we kept talking about all year. Expectations is a motherfucker. Because last year, when the New York Knicks were 21-21 around this time, they damn near threw a parade. New York Knicks was going fucking crazy in the streets. We're talking about straight up.
New York is fucking back. What the fuck, baby?
They were going crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Where the bread at, Tom Brady? I need some bread, nigga. He owe me.
I love my New Yorkers. Y'all the most colorful niggas in the world. I swear, ain't no place better than New York City. For entertainment and colorfulness. When you want weather, sand and beach, La Playas and putas, you come to South Florida. What's going on, Poe? How you doing? So the New York Knicks, right, to get to 21-21, they were their last victim will be the Dallas Mavericks, folks. Yes, the Dallas Mavericks that have 4 former New York players on that team. Kristaps Porzingis, Frank Ntilikina, Reggie Bullock, Tim Hardaway Jr., and we seen every single last one of them play in that game yesterday. And the New York Knicks won this game easily. They won this game decisively. We're talking about they went down to Dallas. They like everything big. Well, we gave them that big smackdown. Splash! Bing! Bong! Since you like it big in Texas. 108-85. New York led that from wire to wire. Through the wire. Winning through the wire. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Through the wire. 108-85. And let me let you guys know, this wasn't no walk in the park. It's not like the Dallas Mavericks came in here like some chumps, right? The Dallas Mavericks were on a 6-game winning streak, folks. In that 6-game winning streak, over the last 2 weeks, the New York Knicks were, not the New York Knicks, sorry, it's the New York Knicks of the South with all the players, former New York Knicks players they have on their team. With the I'm glitching. Your dreads are looking nice. Thank you, Poe. Thank you, Poe. With that 6-game winning streak, within those last 2 weeks, the Dallas Mavericks were the #1 defensive team in the league. So when they played the Knicks, they weren't coming in there like some slouches. They weren't coming in like no chumps. Nah, they were feeling themselves. They were hot. We're talking about Texas hot. We're talking about like Texas Pete hot sauce hot. But ain't shit hotter than a summer day in New York. Like you may be hot, but our block is in fuego. New York Knicks put a spanking on them. New York Knicks, surprisingly, folks, very quietly have won 7 of their last 10 games, folks, for them to get back to this 500 record. Now, this was a game where we will catch R.J. Barrett having another one of his big games, and we've seen this. We've seen multiple. Now it's probably like the 4th or 5th or maybe even 6th 30-point plus game that R.J. put it for 4th. R.J. Barrett has had since he's come back from COVID. Remember, he had that little bit of slump where he was still trying to catch his wind, trying to get himself back into game shape, trying to work through his cardio, but so much to the point where we was like, "Yo, R.J. Barrett, you may have to still come off the bench. You're looking so sorry right about now." He heard the podcast. Right after that, he started dropping bombs over Baghdad like he was outcast himself. Don't ever try to put that boy into a corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. R.J. Barrett has been killing it lately. 32.7 rebounds in this last game against Dallas. And folks, he by himself outplayed Fat Luka. Fluka, whatever you want to call him. Or Chaluka, as I'm going to start calling him. Chubby Luka. You're going to call him Chaluka. I know it sounds like a special at Taco Bell. That's because that's what it looks like. All he does is eat is Taco Bell. Like, I'm sorry. Look at Luka Doncic, right? Or Chaluka, as we start calling him. He has easily gained 45 pounds since he's been in the league. He's a fat boy now. He's no better than Zion Williamson. Chaluka. That's his new name. And we love Chaluka. Chaluka's game is awesome. Chaluka's game is now granted, while I'm over here calling him Chaluka Doncic, right? know that his game is still to be highly respected. Highly, highly, highly respected. Right? I am not talking anything about Luka Doncic's game. I'm just poking fun at how much weight he has gained. Chaluka. RJ Barrett end up outplaying Chaluka in this game. Where there's probably two things that, if you were watching both of them, that I noticed similarities in RJ Barrett's game and also Chaluka's game. Where these two guys aren't the fastest guys in the world. They're not the most explosive. They're not the guy. They're not the individual that's really gonna ooh and ah you with explosive moves. No, you're not gonna see that, or explosive finishes. What these two guys do though very well is that they play the game at their pace. They play the game at their pace, which means that they don't allow other teams to speed up. They never look like they're being rushed. They never truly look out of control. They know how to use their body mass to their advantage. And if they wanted to, they can finish above the rim. But those are some of the major things I've noticed between the two entities, Luka and RJ Barrett, is that they play at their own pace, and it's at a very efficient pace at that too. And RJ Barrett a lot more than Luka Doncic. You can see when RJ Barrett is getting in his bag and he's getting all these buckets, it's usually never more than 7 dribbles, and you have to understand what that means, right? So you're talking about it's never more than boom boom, starting to set you up, boom boom, okay, boom, okay, move and go. We're talking about 6-7 dribbles, and they're making their attack move to either score, dribble, and drive, which also talks to a decisiveness that these two individuals have. So the other thing that I'm seeing from RJ Barrett, right, especially when I'm watching him against Luka, I'm really, because these are the same things I would say about Luka normally, but sometimes I'm very harsh. I'm very hard on my Knicks players. So sometimes there's things I don't see because I'm always seeing the bad that they do. Currently in this Miami and Atlanta game, a matchup of two Southeast opponents. We see Atlanta. Actually, no, the game is tied currently right now, 48-48, with just about 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Once again, we'll keep an eye on this game as the Atlanta Hawks come down and visit the Miami Heat, folks. Shout out to DJ Scepter and DJ Diego, who's currently at this game too, and my homeboys. You've heard DJ Scepter down here on this podcast as well. DJ Scepter, one of the actual DJs for the Miami Heat whenever things are regularly back to normal. Sexy ass. Not DJ. I was looking at my girl. This is what you guys know. I was looking at my sugars. You guys couldn't see that. So, continue with the Knicks, right? There's also a couple of other trends that I'm noticing with the Knicks, right? And one thing that I'm definitely noticing is that the New York Knicks kind of go how Evan Fournier goes. And if you want to, you actually start tearing that stuff down. I'm not using that camera today. Just if you want to. That's if it's in your way, Suge.
It ain't in my way.
Oh, okay.
It ain't in my way enough for me to fucking read that.
Oh, man. Can you pass me the bottle since you're up? Thank you. Can you pour a little drink in here? Be careful around no curves, baby. You almost made me spill this drink on my $200 suit.
Is that a skit from a movie?
It's a skit. Better take you better take your time around those corners.
Okay. Well, I gotta
listen
watch
here,
that movie.
Jack.
Tell KJ next time we set up this camera and he don't come, he in for a treat.
Oh shit, a treat?
It's sarcasm.
I want to say I don't know if we need to reward bad behavior.
Yeah.
And bad behavior isn't rewarded on the New York Knicks, just to let you guys know. That's the reason why you've seen so many different changes in the New York Knicks lineup, where you see that if you're not playing defense in the New York, that Tom Thibodeau is very quick to go ahead and sit you. There's really only been 2 exceptions so far who has not gotten the hook when it comes to their defense. One of them is R.J. Barrett. We talked about him last game. The other one is Evan Fournier, right? And that's because Evan Fournier has a very weird stat. In the games where Evan Fournier has a positive plus minus, the New York Knicks win 93% of those games. They only lost one, and that's when his plus minus was in the single digits. The only time his plus minus was in the single digits was that game against Boston, and we lost that game. Every other time, his plus minus, his plus minus is in the positive, and generally when that happens, it hits double digits. We are undefeated. So in a weird way, we also kind of go how Evan Fournier go. Basically, if he's just a turnstile on defense and he can't balance that shit out by scoring and giving us some offense, is that the Lioness? Yeah, that is definitely the Lioness. So if he can't give us that same amount of offensive output to be able to negate his turnstile defense, then that's when we run into problems, and that may be why he hasn't been pulled as of yet from that analytical standpoint. But like, yo, when he's good, we win. So we just got to find a way for him to be consistent, because when he's good, we win. 93% of the times. Who would have known that Evan Fournier's productivity would have been that detrimental to the New York Knicks win and loss percentile? Like, that's a huge war for people that like baseball. Wins over replacement. Wars. I know it sounded like war. W-A-R. Like, why in the East? Why in the West? Why up not? Why down south? And me say why? I know it sounded like that, but no, we're saying war. W-O-R. Wins over replacement, folks. And something we haven't had a chance to do in a while. You know what I mean? I don't know where the hell our head has been. But folks, it is officially 9:07, folks. And that 9:07 was something that we like to do since we're still going through this, ironically, right? And even I'm still going through this. I just lost a cousin within the last 30 days to COVID. And now one of my little nieces is one of my little nieces. That's what happens when you have young cousins like that. They're all my like little nieces and nephews to me. Cause I'm kind of like snooping in that like, hey nephew, come over here. I know you're only 6, but you know what marijuana is. Come here. This is why Mia won't let me meet my godson until he's 16. Cause she's like, you gonna ruin my son.
Shout out to Mila Neely.
Yo, she's like, you're gonna ruin my son. Like if you meet him before he's ready for you, he's gonna come back with a new attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, so I think he's finally at that point where I can be. She sent me a picture of him recently. I gotta go back and look. I think she sent me a picture of him recently. Somebody sent me a picture of one of my little people. I got so many little people and so many area codes. Wait, that's not gonna apply here. In different area codes. Area codes.
907?
Is it? No, 757 and... wait, that's the only one I can think of right now. I don't know all the zip codes. That's Virginia's, I think it's 757. And then North Carolina, 757, 910. Tennessee, forgot what the fuck Tennessee is.
How we get from COVID to area codes?
Cause that's where my little people are at. And one of my little people got COVID. And one of my cousins got caught COVID and died from it. You know what I mean? And then one of my little people, like, she's catching seizures now. And she just recently had COVID a couple weeks ago. So, you know. So the reason we got here is because at 9:07 we like to do something that tell the queen I said what's up. Poe says what's up.
Hi, Poe.
She says hi, Poe. So something that was started by one of my co-hosts, Mark 350, and what he likes and what we're doing, folks, is that we will flick our light 7 times in honor of everybody that has been affected by COVID, folks. And if you see me looking in a weird position, it's gonna have to stretch for these lights. All right, let's start this. Right, you're gonna see some of these lights start flickering, like 1 and 2. We're almost through, and 3. Maybe not. And 4, we got a few more. And 5 for those alive. And 6 continue to stay in the mix. And 7 for all of those in heaven. Yes, folks, that is the 21 light salute, where we flick our light 7 times between 9 and 9:07. Well, what do we say? Right around the 9 o'clock. We like to do that at 9:07. In honor of all of those that has been affected by COVID. So let us continue, right? Because NBA teams have been affected by COVID as well too, and that's the reason why we've seen so many shakes and bakes up in the system, right? Not just in NBA, but also in the NFL, right? We've seen all leagues had to take in some kind of health and safety protocol to allow for some kind of extended roster to be able to make up for the people on their active roster that kept on being affected and losing time due to COVID. Now, this was also implemented just so you can't cancel games. Because these leagues don't want to cancel games, because every canceled game is a couple of $1 million taken out of everybody's pockets. And I say a couple of million. When I say a couple of million, I'm probably talking about $250 million per game. Just saying, maybe 25 on the low end. And the New York Knicks are one of these teams that's had to work their way and swim through the minutiae of COVID protocol. Now, in that time, we've gotten a couple of lineups that we've got to see a couple of individuals we may not normally see, and we got to see some individuals that in the past may have kind of been written off, but it was a nice opportunity to be able to see them, to be able, you know what, you can still play ball in this league. Now, one of the individuals that this applies to the most is one Kevin Knox. An individual that has been buried on the Knicks bench, and he really only gets playing time when there's some kind of blowout or the game doesn't matter anymore. Well, he's also not the only person that falls underneath this category. It feels like majority of the teams, right? Well, at least half of the teams have somebody on their team that's kind of fallen out of the good graces of the general manager, fallen in the good graces of the head coach, or just based off of either playing time, COVID, or some other thing that's kind of lost your way, lost your position. We saw this with the Lakers and with Rajon Rondo. He got sent over to Cleveland Cavaliers. We constantly hear about this in Buddy Hield out of the Sacramento Kings, and then we know about this from Kevin Knox with the New York Knicks, and other individual that recently we started hearing about, which I've been really wanted to talk to you guys about on this podcast for the last week, because I've been hearing about this trade rumor leading up to it. I've kept on hearing rumblings to the point where I was like, oh shit, is that trade rumors or is that my stomach? But I know, man, chicken strips with the macaroni, kind of shit, you know what I mean? So there was also another play for Atlanta that also felt the same way. And that was one Cam Reddish, folks. And if you haven't heard by now, folks, you're gonna hear it here the first on the podcast, folks. Hold on. Let me get that breaking news sounder, folks. Oh guys, hope you're ready for this. Brace yourself. The breaking news sounder is very loud and it's very obnoxious, and it will catch you off guard, especially if you listen to this podcast at high volumes directly in your eardrums. There's gonna be some flavor in your ear. Get your Mac on. Two individuals that was worthless to their teams got traded for each other, folks. One, Kevin Knox, was traded for Cam Reddish. And if you're a New Yorker, right? Actually, let's get to the New York side of this first. For the Atlanta Hawks, if you don't know what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks, initially for the Atlanta Hawks, you're looking at yourself like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a guy that was a top 10 pick not too long ago. So was Kevin Knox, by the way, right? He was a top 10 pick in the 2015 draft. He was a teammate of R.J. Barrett. That's also something else that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. Like, he was a teammate of R.J. Barrett. He was part of that Duke or Kentucky, whatever blue blood team that they all played for. They all played for in college. So you wonder, why would he get rid of somebody like this? But especially with a Atlanta Hawks team that has a young up and rising team. They have a team that you would think a guy like Cam Reddish would fit perfectly into what a young rebuilding team would like to have. But what the rumors say is that he just wasn't playing the way that the coach wanted him to play, which is the first red flag. You weren't playing how coach wanted you to play, but how were you playing? I haven't watched enough Atlanta Hawks games to know. Haven't been tied into enough Atlanta Hawks media to know what was truly expected from him, from a young team that has what is this white guy's name? I forget his name. Durkin, Trey Young. They have Collins. You understand? They have a young core. Why couldn't a young 6'8", 230-pound athletic small forward / power forward fit into that? Maybe 215, 220 pounds. Like, how can he not fit into that equation? But I guess if you're looking on the other side, people may wonder the same thing from Kevin Knox. So from what I also heard in the beginning of the season is that Cam Reddish asked in the beginning of the season that he asked to be traded. From the beginning of the season. Never made a big stink about it. As you know, we weren't hearing about him like the James Harden or like everybody else. Wasn't disruptive about it. Also, Cam Reddish isn't in the position of James Harden them to be able to be belligerent about his trade demands. He just got to kind of ask for it and be quiet. And hope that franchise does the right thing by him by giving him an opportunity to go play somewhere where might actually give him an opportunity to display his talents on a better stage. And that may be the New York Knicks. Because we know one thing. You're going to have to fall in line if you're the New York Knicks. For the New York Knicks, I don't see the downside here. We got rid of Kevin Knox. We weren't utilizing Kevin Knox. I already told you. The only time that he got burned is when he was getting the roaches. Basically, he was getting the shit at the tail end of the game. He got fed roaches. He never got the good end of the joint. He never got the first light. He never got greens. None of that shit. He was getting the soot after everybody else done pulled. You understand? He's getting the roach after everybody else done nigga lipped the joint. He's getting that wet, soggy roach. Not even like a good firm roach. He's getting that soggy shit. Those are the kind of minutes Kevin Knox was playing. And if you talk to every single Knicks fan, for every single individual that they wanted the Knicks to trade for, one of the first names that ever popped up was, let's give him Kevin Knox. Let's give him Kevin Knox. We want Bradley Beal. Let's give him Kevin Knox. We want Ben Simmons. Let's give him Kevin Knox. We want Ja Morant. Let's give him Kevin Knox. Hey, let's get Zion. Let's give him Kevin Knox. We want Kevin Durant. Let's give him Kevin Knox. Knicks fans, you're ridiculous sometimes. But every single Knicks fan, if you talk to them about any individual that they were hoping to trade for, that they even wanted in their wildest of wet dreams, the first name they were willing to give up for him was Kevin Knox. Because he's the most expendable piece. Because he sucks. And if we knew he sucked, that means the majority of teams around the league knew that he sucks as well. So the fact that we was able to offload Kevin Knox for a player that I think that we can actually use and utilize and put in our regular rotation, especially with Derrick Rose being out a couple weeks, especially with Kemba Walker nursing his injuries, COVID constantly changing our lineups every other day, regular injuries, fatigue, rest, all of that. Why couldn't we use a young body like Cam Reddish, 6'8" wingspan? Sorry, he's 6'8" and he has a really good wingspan. You understand? 220 pounds athletic. The only thing that we gotta know is if he's willing to put in the effort to play defense. If he's willing to play defense, then we Gucci here because we know what Tom Thibodeau is all about. He's all about making sure that you have good D. He ain't gonna have you out in the streets with bad D. No. He's like, you're gonna be a man and you're gonna be respected for your D first and foremost. So if Cam Reddish can buy into what's going on with the Knicks, understanding that he wanted to move, so this is his fresh start, and if he buys in, gives that 110%, plays the defense, becomes athletic, runs up and down the court, does all of the little things, Cam Reddish is going to be a real good asset. And there's always one thing that's always stuck in my head about anytime I hear the name Cam Reddish. Anytime I hear the name Cam Reddish, one thing always sticks in my head. It's on draft day. I remember when Cam was drafted 10. And I don't know if it was somebody that was drafted before him or somebody that was drafted after him. But I remember somebody being drafted and him saying like, yo, y'all are tripping. I can't believe that Cam has fallen so low. Like that dude can he can hoop, yo. He can really hoop. You guys are tripping. Like, I was sleeping on him if y'all ain't draft him. And then 2 picks later, I think he got drafted. So, that's always one of the things, like, that it was an endorsement from one of his teammates coming out of, not his teammates, but one of his contemporaries and one of his peers coming out of college. I was like, yo, this dude can ball. And the fact that nobody has gotten him until then is a damn shame. He was the 10th pick. And there were individuals that played against him that were surprised he fell to 10th. Just saying. So if Cam Reddish can be a serviceable player, he's already better than Kevin Knox. And Kevin Knox is barely a serviceable player. Kevin Knox wasn't in the rotation. If he makes the rotation, he's already better than Kevin Knox. But then again, what we're also doing is collecting a decent asset. Cam Reddish, as it currently stands, is a better asset than Kevin Knox. And if he's a better asset than Kevin Knox, that means when you're ready to package a trade, he's more valuable in a trade package than Kevin Knox. Which means that you get one step closer to getting that star that you've been trying to trade for. But I'll keep telling my Knicks fans, I don't know if you need to trade for that guy unless he's John Morant. And I don't know if Memphis is letting him go. He's going to have to leave there by himself. The guy that I'm really eyeing, to be honest with you, the guy that I'm really eyeing is Bradley Beal. For some reason, Bradley Beal just keeps sticking out to me. He's the name that nobody talks about, but yet he's one of the few stars on his caliber that hasn't signed his extension. After his team has repeatedly like, hey, yo, you want to sign this extension? Like, nah, I'm good, B. Like, hey, what about now? You want to sign this extension? Like, hey, nah, okay. Hey, I know you just saw me 5 minutes ago in the men's room, but now that you dried your hair, you want to sign this extension now? Like, nah, B, I'm good. Like, hey, I know you just saw me 20 minutes ago in the hallway, but now that I caught you on the court during warm-ups, you want to sign this extension? Like, hey, I know you just saw me 2 hours ago in the course, but now that I caught you in the showers, you want to sign this extension? Like, you understand? Like, every 2 seconds, can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that? Like, that? No. It's not even a dog. Bradley Beal is a dog, though, of a player. And it keeps, while the momentum hasn't picked up yet about the Bradley Beal talk or the Bradley Beal saga, where will he land? I'm telling you, Knicks fan, keep an eye out, because these are the kind of guys that you kind of need to hope to get. When you're unable to trade everything away for free agents, the guys that trade everybody away to try to scare the player. The other guys that you're talking about is free agents. And Bradley Beal is one of the next free agents, one of the next big free agents out there. And the reason why I say New York, just keep your ears perked, because normally by this point of the game, we would have heard rumblings of where this individual wants to possibly go and play for. And not only has he not re-signed his contract or extended his contract, we haven't heard any rumblings about where he wants to go. We just keep hearing that he hasn't signed yet. So until we hear actual... And this is what makes me think that New York is a possibility. Only because I'm not hearing that New York is a possibility. Which means that they're not just using New York as some kind of bait. They're not just throwing some shit out there so that for possibly New York to go ahead and bite. Oh shit, I got my boy Big Al calling up. What's going on, Big Al? You know I'm doing the podcast right now, and I normally don't answer the phone during podcast hours, but I make an exception for my tax dude. You know what I mean? Big Al, how you doing today, B? Bing bong, Knicks fan in the house.
Bing bong. Cam Reddish, I'll call you to see what you think about that trade, son. You know what's funny?
You know what's so funny? Your timing couldn't be any better. I was actually just talking about that Cam Reddish trade.
Yo, son, we stole him, son. I love that kid.
So, tell me, let me answer this question first, right? Because let me do this quick experiment. if we had to trade for anybody out there, who is the first name that we always bring up that we want to give away?
Oh shit! Kevin Knox probably.
Yep, and we got rid of him easy peasy lemon squeezy.
It was his last year. He was gonna walk anyway, so that's a throwaway. We got the extra pick from the trade last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam Reddish, we got an extra year from him. Dookie from RJ. Yo, I love that fucking trade, bro. I love it. The only problem is, the only issue I have, Thibodeau don't play the fucking kids, man. He don't play the young kids. He don't develop them, man.
Well, you have to earn your minutes from Thibodeau.
No, he don't do. I understand that. I completely understand that. But when fucking this kid, what's his name? Again, I forget his name. The number one cat.
Obi.
No, the guy we signed. What's the number one? Randall. He played the motherfucking 43 minutes a game. My man, you cannot play players 43 minutes a game, bro. It's ridiculous.
Well, listen, but okay. On the other side of that, though, you're right. Julius Randle was top 5, definitely top 10 in minutes per game. But so was RJ Barrett.
Yeah, but he's 22. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
So he's playing the young guys, though. You just say he's not playing the young guys, and you put up Julius. I mean, he got a young guy getting just as many minutes.
I understand that, but you cannot play any player 40 minutes per game.
Nah, that's what broke. That's how you broke.
I've been watching everything game. He don't play McBride, Grimes. Look at what Grimes is doing now. He's getting minutes now.
Because he had to earn it, though.
No, it's not. That's due to COVID and injury. You know that. You saw what these kids can feel.
Yeah,
so
that's how. So I understand Porty for frustration. Like, he wasn't giving them minutes, but you understand Tibbs. You have to earn minutes, and these guys end up getting extra minutes when there was COVID protocol. In their time when they had during COVID, they proved that they deserved more minutes, and everybody that proved that they deserved more minutes has gotten it. You can't say that they haven't. McBride has gotten more minutes. Like, so to the point so much.
McBride's on the fucking G League, bro. He's not even getting minutes.
No, sorry, not McBride. But I mean, he is getting minutes. Not McBride, I'm talking about, but Quentin Grimes. He's getting minutes. So much so where when Kemba Walker comes back, they still don't know if they're gonna bring Kemba back just because of how Grimes is playing. Yo.
No, but Kemba is done. His knees are done. He's washed.
It's like see what happened?
Forget about Kemba Walker.
So you know what's so crazy about Kemba? How we sat him down, he came back, he had that spurt, and then he basically had to be sat down and managed again for his knees. Which still makes me wonder, why didn't he just do this from the beginning? Just sit him down and call it an injury. And call it managing his minute. Instead of
what he should have done, he should have started Rose, had Kemba come off the
but no, Rose doesn't want to start. So you don't want to start McBride.
McBride's nasty.
He's not going to start a rookie. He's not going to start that rookie. Nah, McBride isn't better than Kemba at this current point.
It doesn't matter. You got to develop your talent.
And they're developing them slowly. You want to microwave. You want to microwave it.
So let me ask you a question.
Ask me a question.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask me your question.
All those garbage teams like Sacramento, Halliburton, he's a rookie. He's getting 30 minutes a game. You got it. Give these kids.
Okay, our young guy that you're talking about is RJ Barrett, and he's getting those minutes.
Okay, but he's 3 years in. I'm talking about the kids we drafted last year, Tyler.
Okay, last year's Emmanuel Quickly. He gets that minutes.
No, Quickly was 2 years ago.
No, you're talking about this year. Last year is Quickly. This year is McBride.
I'm talking about last year. We drafted Grimes and McBride. We drafted Grimes in the first round. McBride in the second round.
So given those, I know you want to see these guys play, but given our lineup, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickly, and also Kemba Walker, where are these guys going to get minutes immediately if they don't prove it or earn it?
It's listen, you gotta give him at least.
And he did.
All right. I get what
We're 42 games in, and they're getting minutes now. None of those guys came in and they were gonna start. None of the guys that we drafted this year was gonna come in and start.
Listen, let's talk about just.
But you know though, you wanted to talk about Cam Reddish because we sidetracked. You called it to talk about Cam Reddish, and you really should be calling on the podbean. But I'll take this in.
Listen, I love the trade. Listen, I was gonna give up on the Knicks. I love the fucking trade.
Oh,
listen,
I gotta talk to you. Wait. Whoa. I gotta talk to you about business real quick before I forget again. I want to do a podcast from your office one day. Okay, that's it. We'll talk about the rest afterwards.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Listen. I'm just upset with Thibodeau is a great defensive coach. You obviously Randall regressed from last year. I don't know if it's because he got the contract or it's because he had newborn child. I don't know what the issue is.
Well, he's adjusting to being a star. He's adjusting to being the main focus of the deep.
That's according to you.
No.
According to me, he got fucking paid and he don't give a shit. Okay. So you remember he signed $175 million contract. He don't give a shit. He got his money.
I'm not just talking according to me. I'm talking about according to a lot of New York analysts that break down Julius Randle.
All I know is he got paid. He regressed.
He did. He got paid and regressed. That is one simple way of looking at it. But also,
I don't like that shit because the level he played last year was MVP level. Now I don't know where he's playing. He's still a decent player.
That's
he's
not
playing to the level he was playing last year.
He's struggling. Okay, but you're right. He is struggling, but he isn't just idly. He isn't okay. Don't do that because what you're also making it sound like he isn't putting in the effort anymore, and he's still putting the amount of effort. He just hasn't adjusted.
I'm not saying that.
Well, that's what that sounds like when you say it like that. That's what that sounds like. He's not putting in the effort.
All I'm saying is you play at this ridiculous level. You get the contract, and you play like the shitty level. How you go from MVP level to a shitty level is beyond me. I don't understand.
I'm gonna tell you two things. But I'm gonna address that because you said you had a question. Let me address that. There's two. There's a combination of two things, right? And you heard me already say the first part. He's adjusted to his new role because it's how he. Let's put it. Let me fully explain this new role. He's adjusted to his new role where teams hyper focus on taking him away. We saw what that looked like in the Atlanta series. So that's.
We added 40 points to the squad.
So again, he has to learn his role. He wasn't accustomed to his new role. You can add whatever you want to add until somebody gets accustomed to their role. That doesn't matter. Now, part of him getting accustomed to his role is even in games where he only scores 2 points, he has to realize like he did in that last game. I am being focused on. I need to pass out of these double teams. I need to get the ball into these other guys' hands. When I get the ball and I see 2-3 eyes on me, that means there's an eye not on somebody else. If I can move this ball quickly, I can get R.J. Barrett going for 32 points. That's part of him understanding his role. So while he isn't putting up the points, he's also starting to understand that part of his new role is also now to start getting everybody else involved when he's being folded up.
Let's be honest. Last year he was a point forward. He's not a number one player. At best, he's a number 2 or 3 player on the team.
But he was even that last year. He was just our number 1 player.
No, he was arguably our best player, but not only our best player, he's one of the best players in the league. The way he played last year.
The second part of this goes to show you the appreciation that we need to have of guys like Kevin Durant, even Trae Young to an extent at times, the Devin Bookers, the Chris Paul, the LeBron James, because what Julius Randle did was in a spotlight. Those guys do it consistently every single year. We have never thought Julius Randle is one of those consistent players. We thought he may have been working himself into that, and we're still seeing that even him in that superstar role. That's even a new role for him. He doesn't understand this quite well, and he's starting to learn how to process. I know what you're saying. It is frustrating because he's been frustrating me. He's been frustrating us for. He's been frustrated a big portion of this last year. But look at the Knicks' last 10 games, and how he's adjusted his playing, especially after especially after that thumbs down game. Look at these last 10 games of how he's gone to adjusting his game and understanding of how he had to make little quirks into his game to be able to, for the Knicks to be successful again.
Listen, he's playing better with as far as integrating his teammates. However, he's not playing the same level he was last year. You and I know that.
But also, like I said, teams are focusing on him this year. Teams weren't focused on him last year. Remember, and that's why I said, like, if you go from, I don't want to compare last year to this year. What I want to when I compare last year's playoffs to this year. That's more indicative to how he's being played this year. Is how he was played in the playoffs. And look how bad he looked in the playoffs. That's more similar to how he looks right now.
The biggest difference is his three-point shooting, right? He shot 40% from last year. This year, I don't even know. It's less than that. Way less than that. And that changes the player.
That does too. But also, do you know the stat on that, though? Do you know the stat on that? He was making one of the highest percentage of contested shots last year. This year, he's not making those same shots. Contested shots. He was making a high level of contested shots.
I didn't call you about Randall. I'm just saying, overall, the team function is always going to be based on the coach. The coach does not develop young players. He didn't do it in Chicago.
What do you mean he didn't do it in Chicago? How did Taj Gibson and Joakim Noah and Jimmy Butler get developed? See, these are stigmas. These are lies and stereotypes that people have on Tom Thibodeau. These aren't truths.
Okay, those are Thibodeau guys. Those are defensive players, right? So he played defensive players, and the problem with Thibodeau, he overplays them. If you look at any Knicks game, he'll play Randall and his starters to like 2 minutes left in the first quarter or 3 minutes, and they gassed, right? So why not throw in the second team? Why is the second team always scoring the first team? Because he doesn't know how to develop the fucking young players.
No, it's not that he doesn't develop players. Cause I don't want you to say that. Because he does.
What about everybody considered top of the bus last year? I was the only one like, he's not a bus. He doesn't get minutes. Okay, wait. Obi Toppin got better from last year to this year. That's development. But what about this year? He gives them 10 minutes a game. He should be playing 25 minutes a game.
But he's not going to get 25 minutes a game behind Julius Randle because Stop. Because now you're talking about because we also have the same issue here because I want to see more Obi Toppin at center. I want to see Obi. I want to see Obi. I want to see Obi Top. I want to see Obi.
I don't want to hear that. You gotta give the motherfucking minutes. Pay the motherfuckers. The guys that nobody can stay with the kid. The kid outruns everybody. Play him 30 minutes a game. I don't care if you put him second, first, third team. I don't care. Don't play him 10 minutes a game, bro.
He does deserve more minutes. He does. But Obi Toppin has gone better from last year to this year. That's development from the coach. Emmanuel Quickly has gotten better from last year to this year. That's development from your coach. RJ Barrett has gotten better from last year to this year. Do not say he does not develop young players. He doesn't like to play them. That's different than developing. He develops them slowly. He develops them at his own pace. No. He develops them. He develops them.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, he develops them. Now, we want to see them play quick. We want to play because we want our young guys to play immediately. We want young guys to play. We want them to get all the burn in the world. But you want them to play like Sacramento. But look at Sacramento's record. If you play Deuce McBride and you play RJ Barrett and you play Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin and all those guys and you start them, you know where we're at? We're at the bottom of the fucking league with Detroit. We don't want to be Detroit anymore. See?
We're not Detroit. We got talent.
See, now that we're successful, our expectations have changed. Because see, now we're complaining like the wealthy. Last year when we were 21-21, we damn near threw a parade. Now that we're 21-21, we're like, this nigga can't develop shit. How is that? Yo, we barely had 21 wins for the last 5 seasons. By the end of the season, now all of a sudden, 2 years of 21 wins, 42 games in, we have 21 wins, and we're saying he can't develop anybody. That looks like development to me. Now, is he playing him enough to I like it? No, he isn't. I get you.
Are you saying it's development when we have the same records last year when we improved the roster, right? We drafted two bona fide two-way players in Grimes and McBride, and they barely played the entire year. So how can you say you develop players?
But these are rookies. These are rookies coming into a playoff team. How? Okay, no, stop. They're not coming into a team that is a bad team. They didn't come into a New York team that had 17 wins, and we're trying to play all young guys. This is a playoff. We were a playoff contending team.
What you want to do? So you want to play that kid at point guard, a journeyman at point guard? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm telling okay, you are not coming into the I'm sorry right now. Coming into the league, you're coming into this year, you are not telling me that you're playing Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes over Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. You're not coming into the league regularly. Before they played one game, you are not saying that those guys deserve more minutes than those other two. Okay then. So you slowly work, so you slowly give them minutes. You slowly bring them into the lineup, and as they keep on proving themselves and keep on improving in the lineup, you give them more minutes accordingly. That is exactly what has happened. How are you not seeing this? Exactly what you can't microwave this. You sound like you want them to start, but then when I walk you through the process, you're like, I get that. But then you want the microwave out of that. You can't microwave. Okay, I understand we do have a stubborn coach. We do have a stubborn coach, and he is a little bit slower at playing young guys out of over. He kind of reminds me of like Pat Riley at times, right? He doesn't like to play those young guys, right? But he still plays them, and he's still willing to try and play them. And Tom Thibodeau does get complacent in his ways, where when he finds his guys that he likes, he'll play those guys into the ground. When he finds his 7, 8 guys that he wants to put in rotation, 9 guys he wants to put in rotation, all those guys get 30 plus minutes a game. That's once they're proven. Taj Gibson and even Derrick Rose, these are culture building guys that he brought to help express his message. These are guys that he can trust until other guys can prove to be trusted more than them, because they have to be proven. Taj Gibson already, I know what you're saying, but you have to also think human nature in here as well too. I got my young guys here. Yeah, I like these young guys, but until they can prove to me that you can fully overtake the plus minus that Taj Gibson gives to me, then maybe then I'll give you some burn. Maybe you need to learn from Taj Gibson a little bit more. One of the things I've loved is the fact that Obi Toppin has been learning from Taj Gibson, which is part of the reason why I also agree with you that Obi Toppin deserves about 20 minutes a game, because he needs to be playing at center. But that's also hard to do when you have Mitchell Robinson, Nerson Noel, and also Taj Gibson clogging up center.
Come on, man. You know you're not going to win anything when Nerson is like.
Well, we're not. Okay, check out. We're not winning a championship, period, with this team regardless. We're a second-round playoff team at best.
That's exactly my point, right?
What did you expect? We're a second year into a rebuild of finally being successful.
Yeah, but why are you playing your 9th pick 2 years ago, topping 15 minutes a game, when you're playing Nolas on L 23?
Because remember, Obi Toppin was brought in as a power forward to replace Julius Randle. And then Julius Randle had an all-star year that buried Obi Toppin. And also, when Obi Toppin came in the game last year, he looked lost. Granted, he had no preseason. He had no G League. He had no summer league. He had no real practice. So Obi Toppin came in real raw. We've seen a major difference from Obi Toppin from last year to this year.
But they basically paid off Kemba Walker to not play, and they averaging him 27 minutes a game with no college in his knees. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Kemba Walker was still a great pickup. Was still a good pickup.
On his knees, talent. He has no needs, brother. That's why Boston and they traded him to the other team and they paid him.
I never expected Derrick Rose. I mean, not Kemba. I never expected Kemba Walker to play more than 60 games anyway.
Yeah,
But
why not just put? Why not give him? Why not give him 15 minutes a game and give him the additional 15 minutes to fucking top it? That don't make any sense to me. And then you play McBride, who's a two-way player, who's a nasty mid-range player. Okay, 8 minutes a game. 8 minutes.
go through everybody in front of him and ask me where does he squeeze in minutes until he can prove that he's better. Stop. But he hasn't proven to be better than Kemba Walker though.
Kemba Walker's done.
He's done, but is Deuce McBride a better initiator of the offense and a better player than Kemba Walker? In the long run, Kemba's done. In the time frame that we needed him.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay then. So you want Deuce McBride to be our starting point guard from day one?
I do not. I wanted Rose, and you put.
But Derrick Rose doesn't want to start.
Then trade him.
No, because Derrick Rose happened to be part of our bench squad. That happened to be the best bench squad from last year.
Where's Rose now?
He's injured.
They
Duh.
old players. They're not the future.
They're not the future. No. They're not the future. These were guys to help us reset our culture.
Let me ask you a question. Who's our number one, number two players? They're under 26 years old. And RJ and Randall and RJ, right? They are twins. So how old is Kemba Walker and fucking Rose? They in their mid-30s.
Who do we have as a better point guard? Point guard. Point guard. No. For 2 decades now, we've been struggling to get a point guard on this team. Deuce, are you telling me that Deuce McBride, from what you have seen from him, deserves more minutes as a point guard to initiate this offense? He can be, but he's not there right now. And he has so far not proven it. In his minutes, he hasn't proven it.
Of course he has.
No, he has not.
Oh, wow.
As a point guard, no, he has not. As an initiator of the offense, to be able to dribble, drive, and dish, he is not that guy. What is the 3 primary skills of your point guard? Dribble, drive, dish. That is not Deuce McBride.
Oh my God. All right, let's see. We'll see.
No. He may develop into that, but he is not a.
I'm telling you right now.
You're saying in a year. Okay, I'm telling you right now, though. You're talking about in a year. Yes, this is in the long run. We're still building in the long run. And he can still be developed in a year from now. But when this year started, and we needed somebody to initiate our offense, Deuce McBride was not a better option than Kemba Walker. Next year he may be. Even right now, he's not a better option than Kemba Walker. He is not a great initiator of offense. Emmanuel Quickley is a better point guard than Deuce McBride.
No.
Yes, he is a better point guard than Deuce McBride.
Emmanuel Quickley's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard.
But he is a point guard, though. He was a point guard in college, and he's a point guard now.
No,
He was a point guard in college.
Emmanuel Quickley is not a point guard. He's a shooting guard, you know.
He's a current day's point guard. He's not Chris Paul. Nobody in this league is Chris Paul. He's more on the lines of your Darren Foxes and your modern day score first, pass second point guard. He is a point guard in this league. There are no more Chris Pauls in the world. That you really catch a LaMelo Ball in this game anymore.
Listen, I didn't call for that.
I know you didn't. Okay, let's talk here.
I think that was a great trade. I love it. Listen, I love you for that.
I got you. And we're gonna talk because we all know. Hey! Before you leave, you know it's tax season. Let everybody know where they can find you out for tax season if they need to get their taxes done.
Listen, you can see me, Freedom Tax 441, baby. Come see me.
What's the address and the phone number?
4397 North State Road 7, Lauderdale Lakes, Florida. 954-484-7700.
And the phone number?
954-484-7700.
And how can they email you if they need to hit you by email?
Freedom Tax with an extra X at gmail.com.
So that's Freedom Tax with 2 X's at the end?
Yes, sir.
At gmail.com. You guys know where you need to go. Tell them that MyT Sports sends you, and you also get an extra, and you also get $50 on the spot.
$50 cash on the spot, baby.
All right, I appreciate you, brother. And I look forward. We're gonna talk some more time. I really want to do I really want to work out doing some podcasts from your your office.
Of course, man. Te quiero, mi hermano.
All day. I love you, my brother. Barrio. And there goes Big Al from Liberty Tax, folks. Glad he was able to call. Big Knicks fan. As you hear how passionate we get, you understand, like you know when you have fans, you're fans of certain of your teams, and you're like, damn, I can't talk to this person every day. Because if I talk to this person every day, we're gonna burn 2 hours just talking sports, and we rarely ever see eye to eye, or we really have the same perspective. As you guys know, I have a weird perspective. I have a different. Guys, this is what people don't understand. On average, right? On average, I consume about 10 hours of sports radio a day. I consume 10 hours of sports a day. And we're talking about New York market, California market, Texas market, Florida market. Let me break this out a little bit more. We're talking about Knicks. We're talking about Nets. We're talking about the Sacramento Kings. We're talking the Memphis Grizzlies. We're talking the Miami Heat. I pop in and listen to the Atlanta Hawks, especially since this Cam Reddish trade. All right. Like I consume that all. We're talking WNBA. We're talking about all around NBA. We're talking Jets. We're talking Giants. We're talking Dolphins. We're talking overall NFL. We're talking WNBA. We're talking about draft prospects already. Let's definitely listen to the Woj podcast. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I consume so much. It's not even funny. So when I hear stuff, I'm hearing stuff from the insiders. Like, I hope you guys know, right? Well, like when I tell you I heard this or I heard that. Like I'm telling you stuff that I heard from the insiders themselves. But yeah, folks, that Cam Reddish pick, I'm excited about it. I'm happy for it. Now, as you guys know, like it is one of the things that he expressed a concern, right? My boy Big Al, he expressed a concern that I also have too. We just hope that Cam Reddish can earn minutes, which you heard me say before he came on, that he can do what's necessary to earn minutes, because with this team, you have to earn your minutes. If you aren't playing defense, if you aren't showing effort on every play, if you aren't putting forth 10% in practice, you may not get your minutes. So if Cam Reddish can earn minutes on this team, that means Cam Reddish is doing everything he needs to do in practice. That means it's enough in practice to see him in a couple of game days, in a couple of games, which also means that also when he's playing these games, his plus minus is high. He's showing all the extra. He's showing all the things that Tibbs likes, all the extra efforts, making his buckets, playing defense. If Cam Reddish ends up making this rotation, it means that he has earned it. He isn't just gonna come in here and get playing time. He's going to have to earn every single minute that he gets. Because with Tom Thibodeau, nothing is given, everything is earned. He talked why you play Kemba Walker, because Kemba Walker is technically a better player than any rookie that you have coming out at that pick. And until Kemba Walker shows that he doesn't belong in that spot anymore, or somebody else proves that they belong in that spot, then listen, Tom Thibodeau believes in pure meritocracy. The only individuals I've seen get a pass has been Julius Randle and Evan Fournier. We saw Kemba Walker be the first scapegoat. I've told you plenty of times over and over again, I won't be surprised if Evan Fournier falls to be the next scapegoat. But we also just told you in this podcast alone that we go as Evan Fournier goes. And every single game where Evan Fournier had a positive plus minus, we have won those games except for one. That's when he had a plus minus that was in the single digits. So basically, anytime he has a plus minus that gets into double digits, we win. We gave up nothing for Kevin Knox. We gave up a first-round pick that we had from another team that's ready. That belongs to another team that's also a protected first-round pick. It's a 2022 protected first-round pick at that. and Kevin Knox for Cam Reddish, Solomon, and a second round pick. I'm okay with that because you can still flip Solomon and that pick for another to get back into the first round if you want to. I know we haven't made a lot of the splashy moves that you want to make. And like I said, New York fans, they want the microwave. They constantly want the microwave. And we all know everything tastes better when it's in the slow cooker. Everything tastes better when you got it slowly simmering on that pot, on top of that stove, stirring it, and having to watch it come back every 30 minutes like, yeah, you just about ready. Just a little bit more. It's starting to smell good. Ooh, we ain't ready yet. That's what we're doing right now. We're cooking shit up in the pot. It's gonna take time. We're not gonna microwave this shit. This is year 2 of a rebuild. I know for Knicks fans, it has been basically, it's felt like 20 years. Or however long since the last time that Melo was in the Knicks and being relevant. It felt like 10 years. But no, this is year 2. You have to look at every process like your newborn baby. You're not gonna expect your baby in 2 years to do what your child has done for 10 years consistently. You're not gonna expect that. You're not gonna have the same expectations. So I'm not going to have those expectations from the New York Knicks right now. And as we get a snap into this Miami Heat and Atlanta game, the Atlanta Hawks are currently up right now 90-83. Again, part of the big reason why we are watching this game, not only because the Miami, we happen to be down here in South Florida, so the Miami Heat happens to be the local team, but also the New York Knicks play the Atlanta Hawks next game. So we're gonna hope that this game goes into like double overtime and these guys are worn the fuck out. Now let's move on, right? Let's start to move on because we've had enough Knicks talk for you guys, and we have even had a Knicks call on. He hit me on the regular line, hit me on the phone line. Hope that came through on the mic properly for you guys. Well, he hit me up on the phone line. You used to call me on my cell phone late night when you need my. You guys have no clue how upset I am because I really think that my devices are acting up. I'm gonna have to go like really do a real hard look and see what's going on because like my sounds have just not been functioning right. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know how you guys are gonna get the re-ear or how you're gonna hear the re-ear of this. I may have to extrapolate everything from the video. Who knows? Extrapolate, that's a good word. Let's get into a different segment, right? Because I think we've beaten our Knicks talk and I'm into the ground. Let's go on. Let's get into a couple of things that around the sports world that we've enjoyed seeing. Ayo,
Love to see it segment of the week. Give me that shit. Love to see it. Love to see it.
folks, and I love to see it segment of the week. We have won Memphis Grizzlies, folks. If you have not been paying attention to the Memphis Grizzlies, what they've been doing this year, that you are cheating yourself as a basketball fan. As you guys know that we have been watching, we've kept a loose eye on the Memphis Grizzlies for the better part of the last 3 years, ever since they got that one incredible superstar, super duper star, and jaw dropping Morant. We followed them last year when they got their rookie Bane. And then this year we just been keeping an eye on them, folks. And the Memphis Grizzlies right now, folks, are third. Let me say this again: the Memphis Grizzlies right now are third in their conference with a record of 30-14. They are currently on an 11. Hold on. I don't think you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10. But we're talking about they are on a full-blown 11 game winning streak. Their last victim being the Minnesota Timberwolves, folks. And like I said, like we talked about the Memphis Grizzlies in the last podcast, right? Because to win their 10th game, they had to beat the Golden State Warriors. And to beat the Golden State Warriors means that they had to beat a team that they eliminated from the playoffs last year. Which means that the Golden State Warriors had everything to play for coming into this game. Just to try to save face, to be like, you know what? I know you guys eliminated us from the play-in tournament last year, but we were nowhere near to being full strength, but we were very hobbled. Let's go ahead and kick some ass. And Memphis was like, oh, country, mon frere, you ain't about to do shit over here, B. We about to continue. I don't know if you heard, but...
Streaking! There's more coming. Everybody's doing it.
They're streaking, folks. And there was more coming, because Golden State Warriors were in their last game against the... Like I told you, they also beat the Memphis Grizzlies, folks. And let's let you know that as impressive as Ja Morant is and how Ja Morant has been over these last couple of weeks, this is a win streak that has started before Ja Morant was even playing. Ja Morant was injured, folks. Ja Morant was injured when this win streak started. And it has continued for 7 more games since. And the part that makes it even more impressive, right? That makes it even more oddly impressive to me, because we all know that a lot of times when you have a superstar out and you get a team and your team starts to put together a couple of wins and your team starts to flow. What's going on, peoples? I see you guys all joining through Instagram. I see you joining on a behind the scenes camera. Let's let you know on behind the scenes camera through Instagram, you may see me getting fellatio on camera. That's what you guys know. Like, it's the behind the scenes camera. Shit may happen that way. Shit is real in the field. You used to call me Mr. So this winning streak started before Ja Morant even came back. And we know that sometimes when players come back, especially superstar players come back, if their team is winning or in a rhythm, that the return of that star player sometimes interrupts that rhythm or throws it off. We didn't see this in Memphis. We see them continue, keep on rolling, keep on strolling, keep on going. Bringing the grindhouse back into relevancy. And folks, I don't think you heard me properly in the beginning when I said this. When we came into the Love to See It segment of the week. Hey, yo, KJ, drop that for me one time.
Love to See It segment of the week. Give me that shit. Love to see it. Love to see it.
And that is, they have won. I'm sorry, they are in third, folks. They are third in their conference. That is only behind the Golden State Warriors, who they just waxed, and the Phoenix Suns, who they also waxed. So don't think that this one streak has been fugazi at all. Don't think that this one streak has just been, Ja Morant coming out and doing his best Allen Iverson performance. No. Oh, countryman, Freya, did you not hear me? Folks, they only played 3 teams during that time period. 3 out of the 11 teams that weren't in postseason contention. If the playoffs were to end right, if the season were to end right now, folks, they went through Sacramento, they went through Phoenix, who's currently number 1 in the West, they went through the Lakers, who's number 7th in the West, they went through the San Antonio Spurs, who's being coached by Greg Popovich, so you could never count them down. You got to make sure you come with your A game, or else you're gonna get embarrassed. They beat Brooklyn, who's 3rd in the East. They beat the Cavs, who's 6th in the East. They beat Detroit, who don't matter. They beat the Clippers, who's 8th in the West. They beat the Warriors, who's 2nd in the West. And then they beat Minnesota, who's 9th in the West. I don't think you understand what I'm telling you here, folks. That outside of Phoenix and the Golden State Warriors, the Memphis Grizzlies are better than New Orleans, San Antonio, Portland. Hold on, San Antonio? Alright, something. But they're better than New Orleans, San Antonio, Portland, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Denver Nuggets, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Utah Jazz. And that's in their conference alone. So if you're not watching the Memphis Grizzlies right now, if you're not, when the Memphis Grizzlies are on television, and if you have a way to watch all of the games, if you're not watching the Memphis Grizzlies, then you are cheating yourselves. Actually, the Memphis Grizzlies play right now against Dallas at 10 o'clock. You know what we're about to be? You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to switch the game over to the Memphis game, folks. So before we do that, folks, currently the Miami Heat game is 99-96. The fourth quarter just started, a little over 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, folks. And currently, as it stands, the Atlanta Hawks are currently beating the Miami Heat. Let's go ahead and check back into the Chicago Bulls and Golden State Warriors game. Last time I checked, the Golden State Warriors was waxing that ass for like 20 plus points. Let's see if this game is still on. This game probably just ended. If I'm not mistaken, this is probably the game that was on ESPN, probably right before the Dallas and Memphis game. Yep. It looks like I am right. So it looks like that Golden State Warriors and Chicago Bulls game has just subsided. We'll go ahead and get you guys an update on that score the moment that we see the update again. Right now we are switching over to Memphis versus Dallas. Since that game is going to start very shortly, we'll go ahead and go back to Atlanta versus Miami for right now, because this is a 3-point game and it's in the fourth quarter. And we want to see which one of these teams is going to come through in the clutch and make sure that they can come away with a big W, folks. And speaking of coming through in the clutch and getting yourself a big W, folks, you're gonna want to make sure that you get yourself an order of Blue Chew. You know, if you don't know what Blue Chew is, Blue Chew just happens to be that little blue pill that can give you back your throat. All you gotta do is open up a pack and then head to the sack. Just a few chews before you do. Folks, this little thing has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so this is one opportunity that you just can't miss. Trust me, she's gonna love how you come through like a champ when you Blue Chew in advance. All you gotta do is take this pill 30 to 45 minutes before sexual activity, and then she will, before you get sexually active, to make your member look a little bit more attractive, folks. All you're going to need to do is use this week's promo code, and you can get your first order of Blue Chew for free on me, folks. That is the promo code of MFEH. Motherfucking, just MFEH. Mike, Foxtrot, Echo, Hotel. Get your first order of Blue Chew for free on me from the folks of MyT Sports Podcast. The one thing that's gonna help you last. Get your Lionel Richie on. You know what I mean? All night long, all night, yeah. All night long, all night, yeah. Because everyone you meet is fucking in the streets all night long, all night, yeah. Blue Chew, folks. There's only two requirements. You chew it, then you do it. And then you do it. And then you do it well. Isn't that right, Sugars? Yeah, I couldn't hear her, but she shook her head. Because she's half asleep. Or like, more than half asleep. But she's half asleep. She only woke up, she was choking in her sleep. I'm assuming that she was dreaming about my cock. Okay, folks, now that we've got to Blue Chew, it seems that we've been dealing with you guys with a hard situation. Let's get into the lighter side of sports a little bit. Hey, yo, DJ MyT, go ahead and cut that beat. Right? I know we're talking about some things that we love to see. Go ahead and cut that beat. Let's get into what we like to call the lighter side of sports. And in our lighter side of sports, folks, we have the #1 light-skinned resident in the NBA today. Yes, we are referring to the all-time three-point leader himself, the golden child, the chef, Stephen Curry, Golden State's own Warrior, that is. As they got bucked down by the Milwaukee Bucks 118-119, folks. And let's let you guys know that currently, as it stands, the Golden State Warriors have lost about 4 of their last 5 games. Winning their first game, I believe, since Klay Thompson has been back, but losing the 2 after that, folks. The Milwaukee Bucks came into this game as if they wanted to make a statement and prove a point, saying that you may be one of the best teams in the league, but we are the motherfucking champions, and you need to respect us as such. Giannis Antetokounmpo will get everything that he wanted to and more, folks. 30 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 blocks. They had no answer for him, folks. 11 from 17 from the field, 8 from 12 from free throw range. Because there's one thing that we know about Giannis Antetokounmpo.
People told me I can't make free throws. I made my free throws tonight, and I'm a freaking champion. I made them when I'm supposed to make.
So suck my dick. That's what you wanted to say at the end of this. So suck my dick. So they ran into the champion, folks. They ran into the champion. Giannis Antetokounmpo said, "Listen, I know you guys got a ring without Kevin Durant, and I know you guys pulled out 2 more with Kevin Durant. I know you sitting over there as a 3-time champion, and I know that you got the best record in the league. But I'm the current champion right now. I'm the 2-time MVP."
I'm champion. Get shit on. Get shit on. Get shit on. Your ass. Your ass.
Clay is back? You back, Clay?
1v1 me, you pussy! Pussy! Pussy, pussy, pussy! You piece of shit!
For everybody that's the first time listening to that audio, just to let you guys know, that is a real audio of a real kid raging during a game of 2K. This is why I don't play online so often anymore. I've been called the N-word by 9-year-olds. I've been called the N-word from people that their balls didn't even drop. That all I had to do was backhand them once and they would go flying into the next century. Telling you, Xbox Live was a wild, wild west back in the days when they first started driving. Like, oh my God, ask Natalie. Ask Natalie. She had a 9-year-old singing to her, "You's a sexy bitch. You's a sexy bitch. You's a sexy bitch. Damn, girl." Like, yo, shit was crazy. Shit was crazy. Yeah, Natalie the sensei, yeah. Ask her how crazy Xbox Live used to be. She's a gamer. She's a gamer. She like, listen, when anytime she's trying to reach Total Savasana, right before she reaches Total Savasana, she likes to hop on GTA and make sure she shoot a couple people in the face first. Cause ain't no more peaceful thing in the world than shooting somebody in the face over a video game. Ain't that right, Sugar? She must be completely out now. I didn't even get a head nod. So as we continue to say, the Golden State Warriors got bucked down by the Milwaukee Bucks. As Giannis Antetokounmpo went for 30 points. Chris Middleton went for 23. We had Crazy Eyes Bobby at 20 points or 8 for 16 shooting. Even Jared Allen will end up having 15 points, folks. And the reason why we mention this, even Jared Allen's 15 points, because Jared Allen's 15 points off the bench would outscore everybody on the Golden State Warriors team except for one person. Let me say this again, slowly and more clearly so you can understand. Gerald Allen's 15 points for the Milwaukee Bucks outscored everybody on the Golden State Warriors team except for one person, and his name was Andrew Wiggins. And he also helped him tie one bench player. He outscored Stephen Curry, who put up 12 points on 4 for 11 shooting. He outscored Klay Thompson, who put up 11 points on 3 for 11 shooting. He outscored Gary Payton Jr., the second, however you want to call him. Gary Payton, second of his name, second of defense, first of his kind. Who played 5 minutes as a starter and put up 0 points, folks. We would get Jordan Poole, who will put up 24, who will play for 24 minutes, putting up 9 points. You will have you have Lee could play 23 minutes, put up 7 points. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed. Now, granted, they did not have Draymond Green, and the absence of Draymond Green, you can see very well on this team. You can see from the point of who was going to play Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially, who was going to get gritty, nasty, and grimy, and just be an upset and a disruptor on the defensive end, an extra person to be a facilitator and help get the ball to other individuals. Was that Drake at the Heat game? Maybe not. But they got waxed, folks, and it was from the very beginning, folks. In the first quarter, they would open up with a 16-point lead, outscoring the Golden State Warriors 31 to 37, and it will just continue to get worse from that point on. Second quarter, they would outscore them 17 to 40, folks. By the end of the first half, the Golden State Warriors were basically down by 40 points. 39. But they were basically down by 40 points by the end of the first half. Golden State Warriors will make a little bit of run. By the end of the third, they were outscored. They would cut 14 points off of that lead, still being down by 25 plus points, and then they would shave off another 6 to make this just about a 20-point game. That's what we have here. The Golden State Warriors outscored the Milwaukee Bucks by 20 points in the second half. Let's let you guys know. They fully outscored the Milwaukee Bucks by 20 points in the second half. And they still lost by 19 points. Like I said, it was damn near a 40-point deficit at halftime. 16 by the first, and over 23 in the second. As everybody struggled. Let's give you some of these numbers. They shot 34% from field goal range, going 33 for 95. 33%, which isn't horrible from three-point range, going 16 for 48. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Bucks, 51% from field goal range, 44 for 86, and then 43% from three-point range. 43%. There goes the numbers right there, folks. And not to mention, and then because it wasn't even a big disparity between rebounding numbers, when the Golden State Warriors had 49 and the Milwaukee Bucks pulled away with 54. And it wasn't like there was a big amount of turnovers where we're talking about Golden State Warriors had 9 steals. Milwaukee Bucks had 10. Golden State Warriors had 15 turnovers. Milwaukee Bucks had 16. 15 personal fouls to 16 personal fouls. We're really talking about the scoring, the shooting percentage, and the downhill scoring that Milwaukee had in the first half of that game. That they did not take this team lightly at all. They wanted to put their foot on their throat early, and that they did. And they made sure that there was no way that the Golden State Warriors could come back, even if they outscored them by 20 points in the second half. The Golden State Warriors had nobody that scored higher than 16 points. Nobody higher than 16 points. And that one individual that had 16 points was Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, 16 points. Kuminga, 15 points. Other than that, nobody else even scored in the teens. The teens. Go ahead and cut that beat for me. There goes your lighter side of sports, folks. Now let's go into a little something. Let's go for a couple of injury reports, right? Or just one major injury report. So go ahead and drop that.
MyT injury report.
Head down.
The MyT injury.
So, folks, what are the key injuries that is currently in the NFL right now? Now we're not going to talk about Anthony Davis. We're going to talk about one, Damian Lillard, folks. And, folks, trust me, the liquor is kicking in. Yes, folks, the liquor is kicking in. My baby's looking all sexy and shit. I ain't gonna lie. I just want to go over there and come all over her face. I know I shouldn't say shit like that, but that's the liquor kicking in. Don't blame me. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Folks, we're gonna have an update on this Miami Heat game in just a second. We'll probably end up watching the whole entire end of this Miami Heat game, and then we'll move straight from here, if we're still potting, right into the Memphis Grizzlies. I ain't gonna lie. I want to see Ja Morant from the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. There's a part of me want to see Ja Morant from the beginning. Even though I see Sacramento play in Houston, and Sacramento has my rookie on the team, Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell hasn't been getting a lot of burn as of lately. I'm not quite sure what has happened. It looks as if he has fallen out of the coach's good graces and not getting as many playing minutes, which is really weird because this is not a second individual that, if you were to ask me, would I take this person on the Knicks, I would say yes in a heartbeat. And I could easily find two players to replace them with. But if you're telling me I had to get Buddy Hield and he also Davion Mitchell on this team, I'm telling you right now, I would get rid of Evan Fournier and I'll give you Deuce McBride. For as much as they talk that shit, right? What I would probably like to see probably the most, right? And I don't know how this is gonna work, right? 'Cause I haven't checked the money. I haven't checked the money. I haven't seen how this works. I just know that one, Buddy Hield is unhappy in Sacramento, right? They're not really giving him the play or the proper burn that he desires, right? Or that he should be having. And also Davion Mitchell, as we said, he just started losing playing time as well. Oh shit. Look at Shannon Sharp. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to tag these motherfuckers in this shit too. Like, let's see. Let's see if we can get the Knicks tagged in some shit. Ayo, Knicks. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm yawning. Yeah, I'm yawning. Oh fuck! Oh shit! I got a bottle right here beside me. I was like, damn, I'm gonna get the new bottle again. But nope, bottle right beside me. Thank you, Johnny. My boy Johnny gave me some Johnny Walker Black Label. I ain't gonna lie, this shit was smooth as fuck. These are one of those things I be telling myself, I want to collect, and I want to drink when it's 24 years old. At least I want to drink in 12. Now you like, yo, you ate this shit for 12 years? Word? Well, I want to wait 12 more years before I drink this motherfucker to see what, excuse me, you taste like 24 years from now. And I ain't gonna lie. I already know that 12 years from now, that you'll still be dropping bottles that says like, oh, age for 12 years. So I'm gonna crack open a 12-year bottle. We're gonna sip on that shit, right? And I'm gonna crack open one of my bottles that I've been holding on to. Right, I'm gonna grab one of those bottles I've been holding up to. We could drink both of them the same night. I'm gonna put shot by shot, like bam, here goes 2 shots for you, bam, here goes 2 shots for you here, bam, here goes 2 shots for you. It's gonna be little quarter shots, third shots. Like, yo, taste this. Swivel, swivel around. You know what I mean? Swivel, 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 right? And have everybody taste that shit. Now, granted, I know we gonna be fucked up. I know we gonna be fucked up, but I mean, like, I really want to know if there's a difference that can be made. What the fuck is going on here? When you were grinding the same Pokemon for hours and finally catch a shine. Oh, I just seen somebody doing some shit on some Pokemon shit. Let's see if we can get Davion Mitchell and Buddy Hield for Evan Fournier and Deuce McBride. And I love Deuce McBride. I really do. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you heard us talk. You heard us talk about the podcast a little bit earlier with my boy Big Al from Liberty Tax. And as much as he wanted to get Deuce into the lineup a lot more. See, and you guys witnessed something, right? As I know we should be talking about the lightest side of sports, we in the injury report. Actually, the Memphis Grizzlies currently right now have a lead over Dallas 16-13. I forgot what the fuck I was saying. So let's get this. Hey, that's what a bottle does to you, B. That's what a bottle does to you. I'm on my third cup right now for the night. Like, my girl's already passed out. She had a half a cup. I don't even know if she had a cup. She may have just kissed me with liquor on my lips. And right now she's passed out. Like she's seeing the dirt with her. But seriously, I would like to see Buddy Hield and Davion Robbins. What the fuck is Davion Robbins? Hold on, we gotta have to find out. Alright, so let's continue. Let's continue, right? Because I'm trying to type and things, so I'm stalling over here. I ain't gonna lie. I was over here stalling. Cause I'm like, yo, what is Davion Mitchell's Twitter handle? Right? Because I ain't gonna lie, I still want Davion Mitchell on the Knicks. I like Deuce. Listen, I like Deuce McBride. I really do. I really, really do. But there's just something about me that really likes Hoop Culture 13. That's your damn name? I don't even know if that's the right Buddy Hield. Hold on. I'm gonna have to find all these guys now. Watch. Well, I'm gonna put it on the podcast. Now we do need to. I would like to see. I will come back here in a minute, right? Can we get back to what we was talking about? Can we get back to what we were talking about?
The MyT injury report.
Head down.
The MyT injury report.
So, folks, in the mighty injury report, folks, we have one major injury in the NBA to go ahead and discuss right now, and that is for Damian Lillard, folks. Damian Lillard, if you haven't heard, he is currently right now with some kind of abdominal strain, and it's going to have him out for a couple of games now. And it's going to be interesting to see that. It's going to be interesting to see how this team plays out without him. right? Because as we know that the Portland Trailblazers currently stands, right? They're just outside of the play-in tournament, or outside of postseason play. They're trying to continue to underplay good. They're trying to continue their some kind of good game play, I should say, right? To be able to sorry, I'm reading. To be able to be able to just to stay in contention, and as you know, like Damian Lillard, his name always kind of comes up. Right, it's always interesting when we see things like that, because even as a Knicks fan, right, we know that there's always talks. There's always talks of him possibly leaving Portland, him not staying there, right? So even when you hear there's something as crazy as, okay, you know what? That he has now some kind of abdominal strain that he has to worry about. Then it's like, okay, he has an abdominal strain. This team is probably going to struggle. Is he going to want to stay there? Yeah, it really is. It's so weird, because every little thing that happens with Damian Lillard, we over here like, hey, I wonder if this is the moment where we find that window where he may still have to consider or go back on what he said. Right, it really makes you. It really, like anytime that his name comes up in anything, right? It's almost like, hey, you know what? Let's bring Damian Lillard into this. Let's see if he's ready to go right now. 16.6 points in the fast break on points per game. He leads the NBA. Memphis Grizzlies. Hold on a second. We just over here. So obviously we gonna wish Damian Lillard, right, a speedy recovery. Hope that he returns. But that's because we want him to return from a speedy recovery. Doesn't mean that we want his team to be successful enough for him not to want to consider leaving. Right? Like that's almost like the opposite of what we want. Like we actually want him to consider leaving Portland Trailblazers. So we'll keep an eye on that right now. Because if he considers stays injured, this may be like they're probably gonna end up missing the playoffs. My liquor has kicked in, folks. Bear with me. I haven't even fully smoked yet. My baby keep hiding weed from me. I don't know why she does that. Yeah, my girlfriend hides weed from me, folks. Either she smokes it all really fast, or she hides it from me. I don't know which one she's doing. I think my girlfriend hides weed from me. The only reason why I think she hides weed from me is because she always accuses me of hiding weed from her. I'm one of those people that I'm under the firm belief that if you accuse me of doing something that I'm not doing, I'm under the belief that you're doing that thing that you're accusing me of. That's the only reason why you're like, oh, you must be hiding weed from me, because I hide shit from you. I'm talking shit. I don't know if she can hear me. She probably can. Because half the time when I come back, she's like, I heard you talking shit about me, even though she over here. Sucking down the roof. I know she can hear me. Don't worry, I'll take a picture for you guys later, and I'll make sure that I use that picture as the cover photo for today's podcast on Instagram. That'll be a nice little trade for her. She gonna hate me. She gonna try to fight me. I swear to God, she gonna try to fight me. But it's okay. I don't mind that shit at all, folks. What am I doing right now? Let's see here. What do we want to do? Okay. We're gonna do a couple of things here, folks. What we're gonna do? We're gonna take a break. Right? We're gonna run a commercial. The Memphis Grizzlies are currently up 27-21 over Dallas. We're gonna run a commercial. We're gonna switch over to podbean feed, get a new feed in here for you guys. And when we come back, we are gonna end with our Go Hard or Go Home segment of the Go Hard or Go Home segment, as we go through all of these playoff matchups. I know on Wednesday we kind of went through the AFC, which means that we technically should only be going through the NFC this week. But I'm going to go through them all. Let's see if by any chance any of my beliefs from last week changes from last week to this week. We're going to get into all that in more on the MyT Sports Podcast. Now, as a quick reminder, for those listening through Podbean, you guys are going to stop hearing me talk in just about 5 seconds. Everybody else is going to hear a commercial. For the folks on Podbean, after you stop hearing me, go ahead and look for the new feed as we reopen the new feed for you guys to call into, folks. So go ahead and enjoy. We're going to go ahead and run that commercial and take a break right now. I ain't going to lie. There was something I wanted to do during my break, and I completely forgot what the fuck that was. We're going to see if I remember. Do I have it up? You see, you know what? I ain't going to lie. This is now the second day in a row, right? Where I'm like, yo, let's go ahead and run this commercial. And when I tell you to run a commercial, you don't have the commercial ready. It's the second day in a row. Yo, DJ MyT, I'm gonna need you to get your shit together because I want a commercial in. I want to take a break. I want people on Podbean to hear the beginning of the commercial so that they can know that it's their time to go ahead and switch over and go ahead and find the new feed. So anytime you're ready, DJ MyT, do that for me.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, I became a soldier.
And we are back with the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm still your host, the one and only Untitled. Thank you guys for listening, folks. And folks, we've been potting for a while. Not just tonight. We're talking about overall 7 years now. We've been doing this. Thank everybody for listening. We got 7 years of podcasts for you guys to listen to. It only started like around the last year or so when we started doing multiple podcasts a week because we realized once a week just wasn't cutting it anymore. And now we're on episode 3. We're on excerpt 383 of the MyT Sports Podcast, our 50th episode for this season alone. You understand that in the beginning, after episode 50, we were basically taking a break. Can I tell you what's that the equivalent to? That's the equivalent like going from college to high school. Where all of a sudden like, okay, we're only playing this amount of games. This is like 20, 30, 40 something games. And you go to professional and all of a sudden like, oh shit, 40 games in, I'm barely halfway through the season. I got another 40 more to go. That's what it was like now transition, making sure you guys get a podcast 3 times a week. I'm tripling my productivity. We get over 100 episodes a season. I ain't gonna lie. That's a lot of shit talking. So let's go ahead and stop talking our shit and get into our Blue Chew Go Hard or Go Home games of the week, folks. And don't forget, folks, that you can get yourself a free order of Blue Chew by using this week's promo code of MFEH. That's Mike Foxtrot Echo Hotel. This promo code will be ending in just about 3 days, folks. Yeah, today is Friday. This will be ended on Sunday. So after the 16th, this promo code is no longer valid, but it's not valid. Folks, we have our we have our Blue Chew Go Hard or Go Home games of the week, folks. Yo, DJ MyT, go ahead and drop that beat. Now, folks, we have our Super Wild Card Weekend. At least that's what they like to call it in the NFL. We have the Super Wild Card Weekend, folks, and the Super Wild Card Weekend. Basically, they call it Super Wild Card Weekend because we have games every single day this weekend. We have a game on Saturday, we have a game on Sunday, and we also have a game on Monday. Right? So, on a game on Monday, folks, we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, and also the New England Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills, folks. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals, they have the earlier game. And, folks, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start doing our picks for this week, folks. All of these games qualify for go hard or go home because we're in the playoffs. And in the NFL playoffs, there is only one game for you to go home. There isn't a series. There isn't a 3-game, 5 games, or 7-game series. No. Any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. You guys know the old mantra. It doesn't matter if you're first or you're last. On any given Sunday.
Anybody can be beat. Anybody can be beat.
Just to let you know. We have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, folks. Every single thing. You know, it's so funny, but I feel like the majority of the teams that are in the playoffs will not have some kind of story to get into, right? We have the Las Vegas Raiders that we all know they had to deal with a racist and sexist head coach that they had to get rid of, folks. They also had to deal with a player. They also had to deal with a player killing somebody. They also had to deal with some other shit, right? They left their interim head coach. As he continues to play, we have Derek Carr, who we have identified as a better than average quarterback. Both of these teams have a record of 10-7, and I wouldn't be. And I may end up saying this about a lot of these games. I guess this is a weird way to cover yourself, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Las Vegas Raiders won this game, even though I'm not picking them. Only because I think that they have more. I think Derek Carr, I can't remember, but I'm under the belief that Derek Carr has been to the playoffs before. And if that's the case, then he has more playoff experience than Smoking Joe Burrow. Even though I am picking Smoking Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals, to win this game because they can do it on the air, they can do it on the ground, they can beat you however you want. You can get a silver sword tail, you can get Wagyu beef, you get that filet mignon. It don't matter. If you want to keep it gutty, you can get that ground beef too. And that's what it kind of sounds like. And so the Golden State, so the Cincinnati Bengals have any which way that they would like to give it to you if you want to get that L. And I think that they have enough to get past the first round. And they have enough to get through the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. Because for whatever accolades or credit or kudos or credence that I'm giving to Derek Carr in his experience and his tenure, I believe that Joe Burrow is there right now. And at this moment will not be big enough for Joe Burrow. It may be big enough for the first half of the first quarter. But after that, I expect him to settle in and him to get this victory, folks. I got the Cincinnati Bengals advancing over the Las Vegas Raiders. Next one, folks, is completely a heart pick. I got the Buffalo over New England Patriots. This is a complete heart pick. A heart pick, 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 a heart pick. If you guys have listened to this podcast before, then you know what it means when I have a heart pick. Yeah. right? And what that means is that I'm not really a true believer in what I'm doing. Like, my heart tells me that I want Buffalo to win because they're a New York team. And obviously, if you guys don't know by now, right, I guess the cat's out the bag. But I am not the biggest fan of the New England Patriots. And really, it's only because of one thing only.
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
That's really what it's all about. I'm from New York. Tom Brady's a fucking bitch, and I can't stand the New England Patriots. So I'm good. I will be rooting for the only New York team in postseason play right now, and through the whole entire AFC, I'll be rooting for Buffalo. Right. So basically, as it currently stands right now, I am rooting for Buffalo to take on the Arizona Cardinals or the LA Rams. That's gonna let you know very easily of how I decide who I want to win. Even though now you're wondering, like, wait a minute. You just mentioned two teams that are playing each other. We'll get there in just a minute, folks. I got Buffalo beating New England, but this is a heart pick. Here goes those key words again. I will not be surprised if the New England Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills, folks. This is supposed to be a game that's in sub-zero temp, that's in freezing temperature. And in freezing temperature, I'm sorry, but Buffalo Bills quarterback has not looked that well in freezing temperature. Actually, he has a losing record in freezing temperature. And also, we've seen the New England Patriots play Buffalo in horrible temperature before, and we've seen what happened. New England Patriots ran the fuck over them. They ran over them like I was trying to stop Ray Lewis. I'm only 160 pounds, people. Just saying. I'm only 160 pounds with dreads. New England Patriots record of 10-7. Buffalo Bills record 11-6. Buffalo Bills won the division. But that does not make me a firm believer in the Buffalo Bills. Like I said, if the Buffalo Bills were a New York team, if the New England Patriots probably playing anybody else, maybe I give the New England Patriots their credit. Because maybe I hate Tom Brady a little bit more than I hate the New England Patriots at this point. But I'm going with Buffalo. And I'm not confident about it. I'm not confident about Buffalo winning this game at all whatsoever. But again, home team, Cincinnati, picking them. Home team, Buffalo, picking them. And this may be the last time I'm picking a home team for a while. As we move into our Sunday night games, folks. And we have the Philadelphia 76ers, Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think you guys already know how I feel about this.
Where the bread at, Tom Brady? I need some bread, nigga.
That's exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles will be saying to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch. 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 Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
And I feel like that's how the Philadelphia Eagles is gonna treat Tom Brady. As we know, the Philadelphia Eagles, along with Jalen Hurts, they have one of the most dynamic running games in the league. Kind of similar to what Buffalo has, where a big portion of their running game is reliant on their quarterback getting buco yards. But it's one thing that we know about Jalen Hurts. We haven't seen a quarterback be this productive since Michael Vick. Looking for the remote because everybody's trying to wonder what the fuck am I doing over here. My game lagged out. And I'm trying to find this goddamn remote so I get this game back. You're not right, Sugars. Okay, she's more than half awake again. She responded to me this time. This is 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. We're making progress. I just want to kiss you all over your face. You wait till I'm done with this podcast. I'm going to barrage you with kisses. A barrage of kisses. You hear me? Barrage of kisses. Once I am done here with the podcast. There's no escaping. It's been set in stone. It is going to happen. I hope you're ready, cause we ready. What we ready? We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. Say what? Say what? Oh shit. KJ just popped into the room. As we finishing our last semester. I thought we was getting off early. I don't know what's going on with Podbean or anywhere else. I can't explain for their bad behavior. So folks, we have Philadelphia on Sunday. We have the first game that we have is Philadelphia Eagles taking on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philadelphia Eagles come with a record of 9-8. Tampa Bay comes with a record of 13-4, folks. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I know I may sound biased, but
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
We have less than 25 minutes left in the podcast. I am picking the Philadelphia Eagles over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, let me warn you guys. This is a 100% heart pick. I feel some type of way about Tom Brady. Actually, in case you haven't been paying attention, my exact feelings about Tom Brady is...
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
So I can't pick Tampa Bay to win. You understand? I can't. So I'm going with Philly. I'm going with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is gonna run all over Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, and then when he's done, he's gonna flex over the sideline. He's gonna be like,
I'm from New York.
"Oh wait, no. That's what he's gonna say." He's gonna flex over on the sideline and be like,
"Where the bread at, Tom Brady? I need some bread, nigga. He owes me."
Because he would have looked good beating Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, and he would have earned himself the payday bigger than Tua got a tongue twister. Now my next game is San Francisco versus Dallas. San Francisco with a record of 10-7, the Dallas Cowboys with a record of 12-5. Folks, I would like this opportunity to go ahead and point out that Mark and I were both right. I came out and I said at the beginning of the year that this division will be won by the Dallas Cowboys. That's the first place I was right at. We were all right in that. Not taking credit for that. I said that the Dallas Cowboys, that it wouldn't require anything more than a one game better than 500 record to win this division. And based off of the fact that they got the tiebreaker over the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Philadelphia Eagles finished with a record of 9-8, it would have required more than 9 wins for the Philadelphia for the Dallas Cowboys to win this division. But to double down and go on top of it, one of my co-hosts, Mark, said that not only would they win the division, and not only would it take them 9 wins, but the Dallas Cowboys would do it in 12 wins. And that's exactly how many wins the Dallas Cowboys had. They went 12-5, folks. Playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have a record of 10-7. Now I'm going to let you guys know again. This is very much a heart pick as well. Right? It seems like I got a lot of those. I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay won. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas won. There's a couple reasons why I'm picking Dallas. Number one reason is because my co-host Mark is a Dallas fan, and I just want to be able to talk shit. Thank you. My phone never misses. But also, in all truth and honesty, his wife is also a San Francisco fan, so I want her to be able to talk shit to him as well too. No, that's true too, but that wasn't really one of the reasons. To be really truthful, it's all about Jimmy G. In a weird way, right? In a very, very weird way, it is all about Jimmy G and the...
Where the bread at,
That's not what I said. That's not what I wanted. You know that. And it's all about it's all about the Jimmy, right? And Jimmy G, when he is healthy and is a starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, they win more games than they lose. Same thing could be said for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. It's just now, who do you have more faith in and who do I believe in more? And in an odd way, in this incident, I believe in the underdog. See, like, Cincinnati isn't the underdog, I believe in them. Buffalo technically isn't the underdog, I believe in them. Philly, underdog, give me that on Sunday. San Francisco may be the really true first underdog that I really truly believe can win. The Dallas Cowboys, honestly, maybe even like the Kansas City Chiefs, they have way too much pressure coming into this game. Way too much pressure. We heard Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones flat out came out and said, this is a Super Bowl or bust kind of year. If we don't win a Super Bowl, guess what? It is a disappointment. So, he added pressure onto his team. And we already know that the Dallas Cowboys already feel some kind of pressure because they've been fraudulently claiming to be America's team. Now I know, now I get it. Them claiming to be them calling themselves America's team is the same way that the New York Knicks are the mecca of basketball. It's not always all about the wins and losses. But you do call yourself America's team. And this is San Francisco versus Dallas. You don't understand, folks. If you're not old enough to know this, San Francisco versus Dallas was such a good rivalry back in the days that it got its own video game. Do you realize there are not a lot of rivalries that got its own video game? There was San Francisco. There was 49ers versus the Cowboys. There was Magic versus Bird, and there was Lakers versus the Celtics. The only three games to get their own. The only three rivalries to get their own game. That's it. Rivalries, not teams. Rivalries. Because even Magic and Bird got their own. So in a weird way, right? I've always liked the San Francisco 49ers. You guys know this already, right? Even though I'm a New Yorker and I rep New York till I die, where I beat BK to the fullest. Red Love is the Brooklyn way. But the San Francisco 49ers are the reason why I fell in love with football. It was the San Francisco 49ers with Jerry Rice, Young, and damn, I am so forgetting everybody's name suddenly. Young and shit. How am I forgetting these quarterbacks' names? Because Steve Young wasn't even the original quarterback. It was Fuck. I don't know how am I forgetting the name of this quarterback. Joe Montana. Damn, how the fuck I forget Joe Montana? When he's part of the reason why I started liking football. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Steve Young to Jerry Rice. But also, having somebody in New York that was the best defensive player in the league by the name of Lawrence Taylor. Okay, my liquor is officially kicking in. I heard Mom Sugars over there. She was talking shit in her half sleep. It's okay. I got something for you. I got something for that ass. Literally. Literally. Of course, I don't have the evil laugh loaded up.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Danger zone, danger zone.
Because
I'm a man! I'm 40!
so this San Francisco Dallas game, right? Not only is it a good matchup this year, but this is also a good rivalry matchup as well. This is one of those matchups that, depending on how old you are, this automatically brings back a wave of memories. And one individual tied around those memories is one Deion Sanders, who was the tipping point to both of these teams winning championships, as he switched from one team to the next. But in this particular instance, I'm not going to go against good Jimmy. I'm just saying. Like, we can Dak all we want, right? But all I know is that pressure bust pipes. And I don't know what happens when you press cot against real pressure. But I know Jimmy G, when he's healthy and he's playing, he's a winner. He's a bona fide winner. So we're gonna go ahead and give it to Jimmy G. And folks, don't you guys forget to get yourself a free order of Blue Chew for the folks on MyT Sports Podcast by utilizing the promo code of MFEH. That's Mike Foxtrot Echo Hotel on Blue Chew. Just go ahead and get your first order of Blue Chew for free. Remember, all you guys do is chew it and then do it. I may keep the cameras running for you guys later on. There's about to be some action in this room. There's gonna be some squeak 'em, squeak 'em, squeak, squeak 'em, squeak, squeak 'em, squeak. I might need the camera on and make sure it's not pointing anywhere. Just make that shit in the dark. Put a black screen in front of it. You guys just can hear some platform lights in this bitch. The last Sunday night game that we have is going to be Pittsburgh taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, folks. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are a double-digit underdog, and I believe for good reason. I'm picking Kansas City to win this game. I'm not even going to try to go against the grain. I know that Pittsburgh Steelers going to be playing with house money. They're coming in here all loosey-goosey. They have nothing to worry about. I ain't got no work. 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 I ain't got no works. That's 100% the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have absolutely no worries whatsoever coming into this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers wasn't even supposed to be in the playoffs. So if they find a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, one, we're gonna talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're gonna really start questioning them. And next year, they won't get the benefit of the doubt as a championship favorite, because that luster should be. If they lose in the wild card round to Pittsburgh, whatever championship luster that they would have had, that automatically makes them a favorite going into every year, would officially have worn off. Mark my words. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think the Kansas City Chiefs go ahead and come away with this victory, folks. Pittsburgh Steelers 9-7-1. Kansas City Chiefs 12-5. That one game that they had tied actually really helped them get into the playoffs. As we've seen now, I want to say 3 out of the last 5 to 6 years, 3 out of the last 7 years, we've seen that tie help a team make the playoffs. And folks, out of all of the... That's a damn lie. Nobody owns the right to this music. I double checked. But whatever. But folks, our very last game of the week, right? Which may be the epitome or the cherry on the top of the go hard, go home games of the week to end up to finish off the super wild card weekend. Super because now we have games on Saturday, Sunday, and for the first time on a Monday. We have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Raiders. Los Angeles Rams. Cardinals with a record of 11-6. Rams with a record of 12-5. The LA Rams basically have Super Bowl or bust aspirations. Like, there's only a few teams that really have Super Bowl or bust aspirations. I know all of these teams are in the playoffs. There's only a few of them that have Super Bowl or bust aspirations. New England Patriots, because of who their head coach is. Buffalo Bills, because of how many times they've been here before. Tampa Bay, because of who their quarterback is. The Dallas Cowboys, because of what their owner said. The Kansas City Chiefs, because they've been here before. And then there's the Los Angeles Rams, who went all in this year. And I'm telling you right now, folks, I don't know if the Los Angeles Rams survive what is the Arizona Cardinals. For the majority part of this years, I have refused to bet against the Arizona Cardinals, the Baltimore Ravens, or the Kansas City Chiefs. As you guys can see, the continuous pattern in the playoffs, I am not rooting against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I am not rooting against the Arizona Cardinals until you can fully 100% prove me wrong. Now listen, the LA Rams are a hell of a team, and I tell you, this is a heart pick 100% up and down the road. If you had to ask me honestly, the LA Rams should be winning the NFC. So if they were to get bounced by the Arizona Cardinals, even though the Arizona Cardinals are a hell of a football team, it will be a disappointment. Because like I said, they're a Super Bowl or bust for a lot of these teams in the first round. Even though there's a lot of teams that have Super Bowl or bust, right? A majority of those teams are the teams that if they were to lose this week, it would be a complete upset. And those are the teams that have Super Bowl or bust tied to them. So Las Vegas and Cincinnati, neither one of them really care who wins that game. But New England, Buffalo, those are both upsets regardless of who wins. Tampa Bay would be an upset if Tampa Bay lost. Dallas would be an upset if Dallas lost. Kansas City Chiefs would be an upset if the Chiefs lost. And the Rams would be an upset if the Rams lost. And folks, we are picking Arizona to upset the Rams. We are picking the San Francisco 49ers to upset the Dallas Cowboys. We are picking the Philadelphia Eagles to upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And like I said, it doesn't matter who wins between New England and Buffalo. Either one of them is going to be an upset, and we're picking Buffalo for that upset. Now, I know that Vegas and other odds may not always reflect what is an upset or not, but I'm telling you right now, there are very few games that if either one of these teams lost, it'll be an upset. The New England Buffalo game, I feel that way about, and I feel that way also about the Arizona LA Rams game. Everybody else, I feel like really has one definitive winner. That if the other team wins, that's a bona fide upset. These two games, New England, Buffalo, Arizona, and the Rams, I believe that both of those games, that it's an upset regardless of who wins. In a very weird and loose way. Folks, you know what time it is? It's 11:07. Did you know what that means? That means we're officially done here, folks. We are officially ending the Mighty Sports Podcast. That is everything that we have as we have caught up from the last 2 days, folks. Next time that you hear us will be on Monday, where we will go ahead and we will review the games from the Wild Card weekend. Obviously, we will have also our tea of the weekend as well. We'll also have some Knicks talk for you as the New York Knicks take on the Atlanta Hawks on Martin Luther King Day. Hope you guys stay safe. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hope you guys have a wonderful Martin Luther King Day, and I hope you continue to catch a wave that never subsides. Hey, yo, DJ MyT, can you do me a favor? Just one little favor, just one, and I won't ask you for any more favors today. Can you play my outro so I can stop rambling?
Sorry, B. I tried. Honest.
All my audios failed me.
All the bandwidth in the world couldn't keep me contained. No lag, no lag. Gonna share my talents with Podbean Live. Always knew I'd take the pod there. Just a lot later than a lot of listeners thought. Last of the real.
What football teams are you guys going for this weekend?
Well,
Go ahead and leave me
maybe
some
not the
comments.
last. Munchkin got good mic skills. New, improved MyT podcaster. Potting down now. Last call for drinks. Bars closing. Sun's out. Heard the casino got a buffet breakfast. Don't want to go far. Wild night. Tired, B. Tired. MyT
Sports.